This was the car my dad had always wanted, but never thought he was up for the challenge of making happen. His love for the classics began with his 66 Chevy Nova 2 and then onto his 66 Chevelle. Between restoring these guys and racing a 74 Chevelle, Chevrolet was as far as he thought he could ever go in the world of classic cars. Then one day in 2013, Motor Trend released a video on a little old 68 Charger, the General Mayhem. That video left my dad forever changed. He always adored the characteristics of a 68, despite wrenching on his brother's 69 back in the day. Shortly after that video went live, he found himself scrolling through Craigslist, and there it kinda was. The car that would give him the confidence to bring any Mopar back to life. This is my dad's 1968 Dodge Charger Cherry Pie. Cherry, for short, has had a turbulent relationship with both my dad and myself. Most people tend to buy classic cars with the idea to relive old memories, but this one has made many memories of its own. The journey of Cherry started 11 years ago, 8 of which has been in paint, and then 5 years ago, my dad and I took our first ever road trip together to buy her heartbeat. Now here we are in 2024, ready to give her the time she deserves. Now you're probably wondering a few things, like why did it take so long to get here? Or how did you guys manage to stare at that thing for so long? Or even, are you simply just crazy? All I can confidently say to those questions is, yes. Let's make this dream happen, once and for all. Well, to my surprise this morning, I roll in here and James is already here, which literally never happens. But I also come into the shop and it is completely rearranged. So like to the point of where he is so excited to work on the Charger that he has it out. Let me show you. So the Charger used to reside here and now it's in its main position. You were a little busy last night, huh, sir?
Hey, you said you wanted to work on the Charger.
I mean, yeah. So you like this idea, you approve, is basically what you're telling me without telling me, right?
Well, I'd like to drive this car before I die. Why not? Let's get on it. This is the cleanest canvas that we have ever started on. We got carpet, we got headers, we've got, I can't remember what's in this box. We have a new wiring harness, quarter stick console, shifter. We got the alternator in with the proper pulley on it. That came in the other day, so we're ready to rock and roll with that.
The Ultiminator?
The Ultiminator. And I've got interior parts, like door panels and trim pieces and belts for the doors. Oh, best thing. We got this cold case radiator for this bad boy.
Man, now I'm excited. I mean, I was thinking about this last night after mentioning it to you, and I'm just kind of laughing at how stupid it is that we've left this car sitting right here, like dead center in the shop for literally years now.
And we got Dynamat. Let's get started. Let's get wrenching. Let's go.
I guess it is long overdue to get wrenching, huh?
There's no stopping us now. It's moved into the slot.
So, first things first, need to make a list. Because we have a lot to do.
List? No, it's probably a very good idea. Let's do that.
We
I was just staying busy because, you know, you were sleeping in, getting your beauty sleep.
Well, it is Saturday.
It's Saturday, you're supposed to get up and get wrenching.
Formally, informally, making a list. So, first thing is to make a list.
We got 3 pieces of this stuff left. Wait, just use this.
Yes.
Oh!
I'm supposed to hold it. There you go. So, Dynamat, you want to go to the engine first?
You gotta start on the wiring harness. You gotta start on the wiring harness. Which is...
Alright, what's next?
We've got to get a starter.
Do we need to order a starter?
I can get one from Napa. No, actually.
I thought you bought a starter for it. He has been working on getting parts for this car for years. Like, he's sourced stuff just to source it. Like, he hasn't done anything else. Like, he hasn't installed it.
I got it. This is it.
So...
Okay, so
Yeah, the big thing is getting the wiring harness in, getting the engine broken in.
I gotta change the window out. We'll make it down here. Put it down at the bottom of this. Let's go there. All right, brake. We'll just fire it up and blow all that rust right out the tailpipe. Would you have any idea? We're like building a new car.
I know, I'm trying to figure it out. It's weird.
Remember the last time we did this with the Nova? All the problems we had.
But yeah, we had a lot of problems. Are we putting a line lock on this thing? Are we? Is that a no? Are you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm going shopping.
Yeah?
Right now, yeah. It's called charter shopping at HHWheels shop. High performance electric fuel pump from 1997. This should be awesome. This is 11 years. I've been working on this car for 11 years. I've been collecting stuff for it for 11 years, and for some reason it just kept getting backburnered and backburnered and backburnered, and life is getting in the way. And you know how many people have these type of projects sitting in their garages at home, and I'm hoping that this will motivate them in getting on their projects and getting out in the garage and starting on it. This particular car came into my world after I watched Freiberger and Finnegan build General Mayhem. They showed me that it was possible to have a car, it doesn't have to be perfect. And in the beginning, when I bought this car, the floor pans were out of it, everything was just crappy, and I was just gonna make a General Mayhem tribute car. And the more it sat in my yard, the more I fell in love with it. I just started sanding on it, and now you see it's turned into a full restoration. It's gonna be something we can do burnouts in, we can go on power tour with, and be really, really proud of. There's something to be said about turning every wrench and tightening every bolt on a car that you're building, and then taking it on a road trip and truly testing it, driving it. Don't keep it in the garage. Get out there and put as many miles on it as possible. Yeah, Mopar summer, it's happening.
We have one holly box.
Oh.
And I can't pick this one up with one hand, but that's one more.
This has got to be the header gaskets. Oh yeah, we're good.
That's nice. All this crap in the way. Where'd this come from? It's like perfectly fit.
Gotta do the Mamba dance.
Oh! Holy guacamole. Are you ready for some fuel, sir? Oh! It's so perfect. It's gonna match this engine bay. The black and the chrome. That's nice. This is a Brawler 750 CFM. This is gonna be absolutely perfect for the 440. We know it's built, and this is the carb we need for it, so.
I'm working on the header. We're not doing carburation right now.
I'm just putting it on the engine to see how it looks.
I just put the car up in the air so I could do the header.
Well, I just brought the car down out of the air a little bit.
And I gotta put a nut on the starter before the starter falls out.
But I have to go back up to lock it on the lock, so therefore I should go back down first.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. I'm telling you right now.
You know you want to see it. It's shiny.
Give me just a second to put a nut on the starter first, all right?
Oh. Shiny. Come on. That's like the crowning jewel right there.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Too bad we got to cover it up with an air cleaner.
What kind of air cleaner are you going to put on this?
I don't know yet. Go get the 440 one. Is there two in there? What the heck is going on?
Yeah, you got two. Got the 383.
Take that air cleaner out.
Hold on, let me get this.
Dang.
Wait.
It just ain't gonna work. Look how high it is.
It's kind of unfortunate though, because that looks really good. Like this
It looks funky.
is so cool.
I don't know about that.
It definitely ain't gonna clear the hood. If we don't run a hood, then it'll work.
We'll figure it out. Let's, we need to do, we gotta bead blast the hinges and get those mounted up, and then we can actually put the hood on the car before we even start working it, so that we can make sure it lines up. But that's gonna tell us if we got an alignment issue also on the whole front end, which I'm really worried about.
And we need to find a different air cleaner, because that ain't gonna work.
Oh,
Even though
that's so sad.
it looks really good.
Take the whole air cleaner off again. Let's look at something real quick.
Oh, that is, I don't even know if that's gonna work.
Yeah, it's not clearing. Look at those, man. Those little nipples are sticking up. So we're not going to be able to clear with a regular.
Hood scoop time?
But
Dude,
I'm
that
just saying.
scoop would be kick ass.
All right,
I mean,
we'll get. That's going to be like our last thing that we do.
I know, but you're gonna go do like the whole pinstriping. Like it's gonna still be a hot rod. It's gonna be Charger, but it's gonna be James's cherry pie Charger hot rod. It's a lot of words.
You said.
Did you know we have 34 days till Power Tour?
Hence the reason I'm actually in here working on Sunday. You were at home with your feet kicked back.
What do you want from me?
I don't know, but you look really pretty today.
Aww, that is so stereotypical, like dad. You criticize something for my own personal growth, and then you give me a compliment. All right, well, while he's sitting there criticizing my work or lack thereof, I'm gonna make some battery cables so that we could possibly turn this thing over eventually. Just picked up some 1 gauge battery cable from our local Napa store. I'm going to solder some ends onto it, and then we have battery cable.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Dude,
By the way, this is the list. You got to get this done today.
just think you're a glowing angel most of the time, don't you?
I am. You said it.
Hey James,
Hey, what?
what has 5 toes but isn't my foot?
I don't care.
No guess?
Nope.
Your foot.
Could make you a little ring out of that.
Seriously. It's a good thing it doesn't stick to steel.
Hey, touch that. Tell me it's hot.
It's probably hot.
I'm not sure what's funnier, the fact that it took us this long to get wrenched on the Charger, or the fact that we gave ourselves a mere 30-ish days to finish a full restoration. With that being said, to hold ourselves accountable, we have decided to have Cherry driving with all of the kinks worked out so that we can attend Hot Rod Power Tour East in 34 days. Let's make this happen.
Valvoline VR1. All of the zinc you could ever need for your classic vehicle. Are you gonna put Dynamat in the back?
Today I am putting Dynamat into the trunk floor pan of my 1968 Dodge Charger, and I couldn't be more excited. It is going to keep this whole trunk area super quiet.
Cut. Can we do that with a little more enthusiasm? So James, how excited are you to be working on your 68 Dodge Charger that you've only had for 11 years?
Groucho Marx here. There's a reason I'm doing this. It's because we have to start knocking stuff off the list. We are 40 days in from going on Power
34.
Tour. Okay, we have 34 days. I go out of town Wednesday for the weekend.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem. But here it becomes a we problem when I go out of town and you do nothing when I am out of town. There's a lot of little things that have to get done with this car, not only just getting it running and driving, but a lot of little things that have to get done. I'm talking like trunk seal put into the trunk, all the felts in the doors, the Dynamat in the doors, the Dynamat on the floors. There's a ton of stuff that you could be doing on that list while I'm away, okay? I'm a poet, didn't know it. This car probably should have been done 5 years ago. I mean, I got really, comfortably financially and started just buying a lot of things that I didn't really need and messing around with a lot of little things. If I just focused on this car, we'd be driving this thing every day.
Yeah.
Especially after I sold the Chevelle. There was no excuse.
Your excuse was you bought the 55, which I didn't even know you did until after you did.
Well, I kept running into roadblocks with this, with the headliner and all that stuff, and you really got to study when you're doing a car like this. If you get it as a shell like I did, if you don't take it apart, you got to figure out how to put it back together. And that's been my big problem is, I like to say I'm a Mopar guy. Well, I'm a Mopar guy because I'm a Mopar fan, but I'm certainly no expert when it comes to putting these things back together. Definitely learning how. All right, get ready.
Wait, you turn this? Hold up. This drill's smoking. I was like, I see smoke.
Dude, the drill is absolutely burning up.
Well, the upside is,
I don't think there's any upside.
look, I'm not gonna crap on Ryobi tools, but this has happened to me every single time I've ever owned a Ryobi tool.
That would be called crapping on Ryobi tools. Just let it go.
It's a good thing we don't have any fuel.
That's enough.
Look at, dude. That would be something else, wouldn't it?
Oh, look.
Oh. What did you not tighten up? Why do we always have issues with Mopar oil pumps, huh?
Now, time for a coffee break. Gosh. Could you make this a little sweeter?
Like you.
I don't need it. All right. We have figured out what the problem is. When I stuck this oil pump on, I thought I had the right bolts. You can't just use like general hardware from your hardware store unless you shorten those bolts down. Caroline actually had an old 440 that she stole the oil pump bolts out of. This is the size and the length of the bolt that's supposed to go in there. This is what I was using, and these were buttoned up against the block, and they were basically sinking in all the way in, and it wasn't sealing the oil pump to the block. We're going to go ahead and put those in there, and it should seal up the oil pump housing, or excuse me, the oil filter housing and the oil pump to the block, and we'll stop being stupid. Yeah, we still got an oil leak. What I did was I put a little bit of goop on there because I screwed up and put the gasket on dry, which you're not supposed to do. So I put a light coat of RTV in there. My whole plan with this whole idea is to make sure that I make Chris Birdsong laugh.
Did you put any RTV on the washers themselves?
Huh? Let's come back in 30 minutes and see if it leaks oil again.
Well, it's pretty obvious we're no strangers to Dynamat. We have used it on various projects. I've used it on cars, James has used it on his own personal cars, and obviously now we're using them on our HHWheels cars. And they came out with their Pro X line. It can be used for a various set of applications, especially like on the inside of your car. I really wanted to give it a try. I said, you know what, let's just go ahead and try it in the trunk and see what we think, because during Power Tour, we carry bags, we carry spares, we carry multiple sets of tools, wiring tools, jacks, things like that. Last year when we took Frizz, we had a lot of clinking, clanking, shaking, braking. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and install these. We got 3 sets of these, which I think will be more than enough. I'm just really excited that we get to do it again on James's charger, and also really take the time to do a really nice setup for this charger, because it's been a project that's been going on for 11 years, and I think it's safe to say it deserves some quality products.
I'm all kinds of bad when I drop on the beat. Taking down heaven, we made it, my love.
In my plans. Battle the kid, it's white flag. Baby, why you leaving me? She lost her way, although she stays, she's never yours. She doesn't breathe, she doesn't leave when she...
Okay, that is depinned. So now we have 6 wires going to the front. That's convenient.
What'd you say?
I said now we have an alternator cable. It can charge. This is literally, okay, you know what? It's really nothing, but it counts for something, right? It's a small piece of a very large charging puzzle. I should write it on the list and then cross it off from the list, just because if only I had a camera filming you right now. I'm just trying to get you doing something in general, because that never happens. Okay, go ahead.
Do something, please. Could you get inside and hold,
Yeah.
tighten those bolts up, please?
Well, I already met my quota for the day, dude.
Going to a car show?
Yeah.
Drinking my coffee? Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Your block is on.
Hey, this, sir.
How do we even have this ratchet? For a hammer? I love how you come in here and bogart my bench.
Oh, okay, it's my fault.
Well, this is my bench.
Oh, we're drawing a line in the sand now? Is that what's
No,
happening?
I'm just saying it's my bench. Can you take me higher to a place where I've never been?
Can you take me higher?
Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Caroline.
Yes.
Can you take me higher?
No.
We shall have windshield wipers. Oh yes, we shall.
Oh, that's good.
There we go. I just don't want to bend over. There we go.
Like, did you get the right socket? Oh, my Atlanta. You are something else, sir.
Got lost in Walmart.
I got kidnapped.
Dude,
Human
I'm
trafficking.
not worried about you getting kidnapped because they're going to bring you right back after 15 minutes. What's so funny?
Because it's funny.
I bet those are going to squeak like a mother.
You had to paint over them. We need to do a small wire from that down to your starter. So we will hook it up, but I gotta cut it and make it so it'll get
Yeah, but it's going to go on top of the
battery one.
battery.
Yes. Are you out of room there?
No,
Oh,
I just,
okay.
it's a tight fit.
This thing doesn't have an electric choke, does it?
No.
Cool, I don't have to wire that up.
This is all wah! And no.
Well, for the past 3-4 days of my life, I have been doing absolutely nothing but wiring this car, going home, going to sleep, waking up, eating, coming back and wiring this car. And we don't actually have the switch in the front set up for the lights yet, but I'm so eager to see if all this works and we have good grounds that I'm gonna take the power probe, I'm gonna hook it up to our battery, and I'm gonna go up to the front and test the plug to make sure that we have brake lights, running lights, probably backup lights that we may not have to hook up, and then turn signals. Alex, I need you to be my eyes and tell me if we have everything that I hope we have. What's that?
Nothing on sides. Nothing. Oh, you got left.
Left?
Left. So that'd probably be turn, Right.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, nice. That's gonna look really nice now if I just get the running lights to work. That looks good. Left. Backup lights should be light green. Push the fuse in on the side.
Oh.
Do it again. Yeah, those work.
Here comes running lights. Ready?
Yeah. Yeah, they're both on.
Work
Do your
lights.
left turn signal again, which is your yellow.
Yellow, yellow.
Yeah, so you have a dim light on the right. It's definitely a ground issue.
Nothing like custom fitting a brand new set of headers. Oh, my knee! Oh. According to Dolchek and Freiberger, this will do nothing to the horsepower.
Oh! Just do it. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
That hurts me inside.
that poor header.
Hurts me.
Here we go. I think that's pretty good. That's gonna fit. How do I get the starter to? It's almost like I gotta leave that loose and then put the starter in.
And then tighten it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you push the header any higher, or no? We're so close. Oh, hold on, right there. There you go.
You get it?
Yep.
Pull more. I got the Mopa blues. Oh, can't you hear me? 440, stop checking me around. I hate this header.
That bad?
Yeah, it sucks. I don't know why the parts girl didn't get us better parts to put on this car. Oh,
Flashback. I have all the
right
parts.
there. It's called charter shopping at HHWheels shop. Mama, Daddy, greasy granny, there's holes in her panties, like Frankenstein, with a big behind, going beep, 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 down, Sesame Street. All right, that should be done. This is a shame. It's a crying shame. Clearance the starter. All right. Oh, my big eye, man! We're clearancing these headers way more than we should have to. That's all I got to say. I mean, we've had this header on and off probably 6 times. I beat and banged on it, thought we'd just clearance it a little bit. Well, that cool, I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna see if I can run a tap into one or two of those holes. Make sure that we have good holes to thread into, and then come back over here, put some more heat on this, and clearance the steering column, because I just clearanced the steering box, and now we just need to do column. Now that I've beat and banged on the headers and got them actually to fit inside the car and into the engine bay, it's time to put the header gaskets on. This is what it looks like. I really like using these because when you do mash them down to the head, in between the header, it really does conform to the head really, really well. And also, unlike the cork type gaskets, very difficult to blow these out.
We're shifting to brakes, and we just filled up the front reservoir, and now we're gonna open this back bleeder and hopefully have some fluid drip out so we can have some breakage.
What's happening?
Well, at least he's working on something. James is on a mission today, dare I say, working on the front grille because I kind of busted his chops the other day because he was really excited about working on the hood, even though in theory we can run without a hood, but we can't run without a front bumper and clip for headlights. So he's a little butthurt about it, but he's back there putting 2 grille assemblies. The entire thing's together to make one really nice one. So far, we're making good progress. I'm gonna crack this bleeder.
Yeah, no, some of the lines are just finger tight.
Oh, well, I
So
guess
we want
guess
to
we'll
put a
do that
wrench on every
before
single
I-
one of them.
open the bleeder.
That's a great idea.
I think all this is tight back here, but we're for sure gonna find more leaks. Whew. Man, I hate bleeders because I'm so worried I'm gonna strip them or snap them because I've done them. Like, I've done that before. Mostly on Volkswagens, they're super rusty, but oh, we got fluid already.
It's exciting.
Yeah, we got a lot of air, but we got fluid.
So at this particular moment, I have started on refurbishing the front end. When I say front end, I mean the front nose of the 68 Charger. It's got a great parts front end right here, and then we have something that's kind of stripped down, doesn't have the lights or anything like that in it. This has the buckets and the chromes. So we have complete front end. Between the two, we have a complete nose. And I think we're gonna be able to make something. So it's all coming together in the next 20 days. What are we doing? A lot of you guys might be asking, why don't you just restore the front end that looks like it's all together? Well, this thing has been smashed down in the front. It's got a bunch of broken pieces. And if we look over here, both of my buckets, my plastics for my buckets over here are actually perfect. And so this metal is all distorted where this thing was crushed and beat up. It's great for parts, to source some parts. I might even be able to use the Charger badge on the front of the grille here. But it has all of our trim rings that go around the lights and all the nuts and bolts, a bunch of nuts and bolts on here that I can use for this one over here, which is already stripped down and ready for paint. I got a little bit of metal work to do to it also where it rusted out, but it's not gonna be a big problem.
Although this is like kind of pertaining to the Charger and not pertaining to the Charger build, we have to eat, we have to drink, we have to survive to build this car. And one thing that we really survive and thrive on is your pretty stereotypical Southern style drink, sweet tea. More specifically, public sweet tea. And I can tell James is definitely dragging a little bit. So my favorite thing to do for him when I can tell he's dragging is get him a nice cold cup of sweet tea. But I do have to make sure it's not poison first. Oh, it's so good. Man, the best way to our heart is through sweet tea. So let's go give this to him and see if he perks up or just is like, thanks. I don't know, it's James and it's Friday.
Thank you. You're the best.
I'm not kidding you, 2 minutes ago I was like, this will cheer him up and put a smile on his face.
Good guys. Southern Nationals.
They sure dressed appropriately for today.
I'm always doing bow and look Duke shit.
Alright, we'll get back to it. We only have 22 days.
So what we have here is the nose of the Charger, which is one of the sexiest pieces on this car. Unfortunately, we got a little bit of a rusty corner over here. The rest of this steel structure that holds the lights in place and that holds the grille pieces, all of it's completely solid, but right here we got a little bit of rust. So what I'm doing is I'm going to cut out a little piece of metal, replace it, make sure that we have the hole in the proper place for when we mount it on the body, and it's all in the preparation of just restoring the nose of this thing. So we have to get the foundation done first, and then we'll start restoring all the plastics and putting the lights in and getting everything together, and the doors for the lights. Once we put all that together, then we can slide it into place on the car and it'll be beautiful. Dun, dun, dun.
Under pressure, beating down on me.
I love how you only know either the first chord or the
Under
chorus.
pressure.
Jesus.
I'm not gonna hit you. Might get close.
You just almost hit yourself. Oh my god.
All right. I tell you.
Build a Mopar, they said.
Story of my life.
Build a Mopar, they said. It'd be fun, they said.
Ah! We're gonna be able to build some shit.
So what would you rate it, James?
An 11. Our metalwork capabilities just went up like 1,000 times.
Sweet. You just hand me the cup.
Just hand you the cup.
Yeah.
Sweet tea.
This is the only problem with giving you sweet tea. You're like a kid with candy. Okay, I'll get you more sweet tea.
90 or something on
All
there.
right, I'll go down to Land Speed right now and grab the Mike's kit.
It's not gonna.
You have such a nice smile, James.
Yeah, we're gonna need at least two 90s.
Well, $6,400. That's what happens.
Hey, James.
You.
I need your carpet expertise for a second, sir.
What's up?
Just give me a ballpark of how much farther I need to go up.
It's ugly as hell.
It's supposed to be molded, isn't it?
Like that's probably gonna have the other side was done right. Both sides would be done exactly the same if it was done right. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, I think we're both talking about two different things though right now.
there's a big chunk of that.
That goes underneath here.
That's it. Oh, so close. See, it was close, but not.
Not there. Close, but no cigar.
Yeah. Go that more?
No, back towards me.
It definitely is in the spot
No,
where it's
I'm
supposed
talking
to be.
about this carpet. Because I think this probably would line up flush with this. And then this like part that doesn't have the sound deadener stuff on or the jute would lay flat like that.
If you want to try to do that, that's fine.
It'll look better on the firewall too, I think.
Yeah, and that's definitely supposed to be a little
Closer to
further
the
in.
pedals, yeah. Definitely.
Cool. Normally on most of the junk that we work on in this shop, we do not do a lot of detail work. But since we're doing pretty much a full restoration on this Charger, I went ahead and I bought all the interior trim to go around this headliner. And it's, I'll tell you what, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but I highly recommend if you're doing a restoration on your Charger or any of your cars, get the details done because it makes a huge difference on how the car looks. Ooh, what you got there?
Some premium drill bits. Actually, these things are really awesome. I'm not really sure what we did without these drill bits before because the little steps, it's pretty cool. First of all, it allows you from going like straight through, you know, like when you're kind of drilling into something and you got to really put a lot of pressure on there, it gives you a lot more control than you think. So you can kind of like meter yourself without, you know, jamming into a wire perhaps. But these are really great too because they're super sharp and they make any job, no matter what thickness, really fast.
So I've had a lot of people ask me why I started building this car 11 years ago. And I think it's important that I convey to people that I've always been a 68, 69, 70 B-body Charger guy just since I was a kid, just because my brother loved these cars and it was like our first car that we worked on together. But I always like the 68 tail panels better and the front ends. I think they're sexier. than the 69, and a lot of you will not agree with me on that. I wanted a new challenge first off. The challenge, everybody told me to stay away from Mopar. And I was like, I think I could do one. I mean, it's just like any other car. I was a little mistaken on that. I will tell you that this particular car has challenged me every single step. Headliner, finding the parts for this car have been a challenge from day one. They say, if you're gonna restore a Mopar, buy 2 cars. Well, I bought 3. When I got this car, me and my son went and picked it up, and it was the coolest feeling bringing this car back home. One thing I told myself with this car is all the money I spend on it, I'm not gonna keep track of. I'm just not going to do it. All the nuts and bolts, all the little small crap that you gotta buy to restore a car completely, man, just make sure your kids are out of high school, out of college, married, got their own lives going before you start doing one of these cars. There's no cheap way out of restoring one of these cars. Let's get this cable put in. All right, so I'm gonna run this like that. At least now Caroline can't say she did all the wiring. When I look at this intake, here's my issue. There's no holes anywhere to mount. I guess I could go off these bolts and make my own mount for my throttle cable. So I think I got the solution here. And what? These Holley sniper boxes are awesome. They literally have been across country. I want to say 3 times, 3 or 4 times shipped and stuff, so they are really badass. So, all right, what do I got in this box here? Oh, hey, I got another coil right there. That's not what I want. All right, this is what I'm looking for. So this came off another build or rescue that we had. The gaskets, one underneath, one on top, and we'll have a throttle cable mount. So it should work perfectly. What I'm doing is using some very fine steel wool with a little bit of our WD-40, and you put that on there, and I tell you what, man, it will wonders for like a little bit of surface rust or anything like that on a piece of steel or chrome. And it won't scratch the chrome if you have a very fine steel wool. So I've been using this method for years and years and years. Let's go see how it works on the car. That's gonna fit absolutely perfect, no problems. The thing is solid as a rock. This is an 1/8 inch steel at least, and I've got an adjustable throttle linkage here. I like this thing. I hope it works really, really well. Looks like it's sealing really good. That plate is really good and flat, so should be good. Should be good. Oh boy. What's Alex doing over here?
Struggling.
Did you figure out the ground problem?
No,
I thought you said you did.
I did. It wasn't. Wiring gets frustrating. You have lights, you just have all the lights all the time.
This car not done by the 8th and not roadworthy, we're not going in this car. So that's it. Those are all the days that we have. That makes it real. Let's get wrenching.
We are at my favorite part of any restore, build, whatever it may be, and that is the radiator portion. Not only because it means we're gonna start running the car soon, but it also means that I'm towards the end of wiring and my entire wiring journey as a whole. It's a pretty simple setup, obviously. Really awesome TIG welded all aluminum radiator with the matching fan shroud and fan. It comes with everything you need to install in the car, which is super awesome because I don't have to make anything. So let's get this thing put together and then we will get it in the car. Beautiful. So originally the problem with the fitment was the fact that this radiator is for a small block car, this core support is for a small block car. This car was originally a small block car, but we're slapping a big block in it. So we have to get the correct radiator to fit, obviously. Thankfully, the good thing about cold case is no matter which one you need, it will support a big block or a small block. But I did have to modify these holes just a smidge with a little bit of a file and a die grinder, but the fitment is good. Now we can send this baby in. Unfortunately, that shroud will not fit with the fan in here because of all the upgraded CVF kit we have on here. So we'll just have to make that one work too. But that's the great thing about these cold case radiators is it's pretty easy to kind of finagle things and modify it to whatever you need to fit your needs. Oh, it looks so shiny in here.
You know what they say? Chrome gets you home.
Beautiful.
How many days we got left?
We've got, what, 17 days? 17 days.
I guess you better get...
Wrenching. I'm gonna have to get wrenching a lot.
All right, well, here we are. We're about to see if the motor turns over. Caroline's in the car, pulling the fuse to the fuel pump so it doesn't burn out. We're gonna see if this just turns over. Maestro! You hear some music. My wiring technician here.
I'm gonna find out what the problem is. One step at a time.
Okay, Maestro. You sure you turned the key all the way? On. Okay, I'm gonna leave that up to you two to figure out, because all I needed to know is if the hardware works.
But so
the hardware works.
Relay's good. It's just a ground issue, which I figured we were gonna have. Of all issues, I'll take ground issues over not having the appropriate wire or having something wired wrong, which that's not the case, despite the bad ground. I'll take it. Something that is pretty controversial in the world of headlights nowadays is LED headlights, because they are kind of obnoxiously bright, but everybody's using them because everybody has them. They come in the new cars. It's kind of like really hard to avoid them altogether. Something that really excited me though that we have never tried before are the Holley Retro Brights. They are pretty much a direct fitment of a headlight. Basically, you can get them in the stock size and shape or whatever you need. And it's pretty simple to wire in. They're just a simple 3-prong. They come with an adapter, so if you don't have a 3-prong in your old vehicle, you can always just adapt it. It's pretty straightforward. It's high, low, and ground. And I'm just really excited because I've never tried them before, and I think they're gonna look pretty darn slick.
On this particular front end, when I was taking it apart, I noticed there was a couple of clips that were actually broken out where the bolts are. And my whole plan was to actually get a plastic welder and take some pieces off my parts front end and kind of plastic weld them in place. But the more I thought about it, I'm thinking, hey, I'm bolting stuff to this, and I really think that's going to be a weak link in putting this front end together. What I did was I devised a plan with some of this aluminum that I have right here, and I've drilled some holes in the plastic, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rivet this piece of aluminum in there into the area here in order to actually align these holes and get the hole lined up here, and then we can use our clips like this and actually have a place to put those, and it's going to be a much stronger area instead of maybe a plastic welded area that might break again. Now let's get these clips in and get this front end together and get it mounted on the car. So I marked a grill off the list today. What did you mark off the list today?
I managed to mark off installing the new dimmer switch and looming some wires, even though I basically added like 5 more things to the list, but it's just as a small reminder that I probably need to get them done.
This is our nasty hood that we're gonna be cutting a hole for our breather down. And I've got a 440 scoop that I'm thinking I want to put on here, kind of like General Mayhem had on theirs. Let's see how that looks. Man, that really looks like crap. Plus, I'm gonna have to do a lot of work to this to get this to sit flush. I've got a crease right here. I don't know. I don't think I like it. I think in this box we have our solution. I think this will look a lot cooler. Let's see what Caroline thinks.
This is why we have problems ordering parts, because all you do is rail into me for like 3 weeks that we need a black 16-inch drop-based freaking air cleaner.
And then he keeps them.
And then he keeps them. We get 2 of them, and then he puts this on. We already have this. Why did I order one? I don't know. But it is cool. It's really cool. I don't hate it.
It would save a lot of time if we didn't have a hood.
It would save a lot of time if I didn't order parts you weren't going to use.
So I got 2 hoods for the Charger. One is definitely less desirable than the other. The one that I'm working on right now, I'm putting our good old buddy POR 15 on right now. It's all gacked up with rust and pretty nasty little pinholes here and there on the bottom side of it. Great thing about POR 15, especially with the shiny stuff, is you can put it over all these little pinholes and stuff and it kind of hides everything. POR 15 is not a sponsor of this build. For those of you that know exactly what POR 15 is, so I don't really have to explain to you, but for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a paint that you can actually just put right over rust and it'll seal it in and it'll keep rust from growing. This is a really good paint to put on your floor pans or underneath, you know, a hood like this. It's all rusty. It's something that I do recommend for hobbyists and DIYers, because you know we always don't have the means or the tools to be able to strip things down the way they should be. So if you knock off the top surface of the rust and just go right over the top of it, seals it in. You put it on with a brush and it flows out just like you sprayed it out of a spray gun. This is what's inside my hood that I'm about to take on power tour. Yeah. That's fantastic. So I cut this hole in my hood, but I kept looking down in these holes, and I'm getting all these nuts and rust and crap. A mouse or a rat got in here. This is something that's kind of transpired over the last couple of days, just because I didn't like the 440 scoop. So we're doing that. I've measured all, taken all my measurements, done everything, laid it out on the table, as you can see here. Once I start cutting, there's really no going back. So it's just kind of double checking all my measurements. They look good. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting into this thing. Mopar guys, don't hate me for this. This hood, completely rusty. Underneath, all the underneath has really got a lot of rust holes in it and stuff. So really not a hood that you could use for anything other than this. Taking something that would probably be scrap and we're turning it into something we can use. I may like the way this looks and leave it on there forever.
You probably will, knowing you.
Never know.
Well, I gotta get a grip on. There we go.
You should be able to rest it on the blanket. I know the front hole is the front hole and it's like it's not slotted.
Not a lot of room for activities.
I wonder if it goes like this as it's going down.
Well,
obviously.
that's what I'm curious about.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
You hold it for me.
Oh man, you might actually clear that.
The cool thing is I can take it off.
Keep going. Keep going. Damn.
Bro.
You're gonna bind over here, but that's pretty good, dude. Wow. I think if you clearance, if you clearance that inner structure, maybe like another 1/4 of an inch. The bug catcher is for sure an acquired taste, but it looks really cool. And since he actually never painted the hood to match the car, don't ask me why. I don't really understand. Why not? We're going on a hot rod power tour. It's a good time, and let's just have fun with it. Why be so serious, right? I gotta say, most of this process, I haven't been very nervous about anything other than maybe getting parts, but right now I'm starting to feel kind of the heat. We still haven't fired this motor yet. We've been waiting on our drive shaft to be made, and we've been waiting on a transmission dipstick. But on a positive note, James is kicking butt on that hood because there isn't a whole lot we can do with everything else. It's gonna make it. We're gonna be parking with Continental, so we're gonna be kind of front and center, and we wanna make sure that when we show up for you guys, we show up and we don't want to half-ass anything. Yeah, I'm really proud of us. We have really turned this car out. It's so funny that he's owned this for 11 years. I've been drooling over it for almost 6, and we put this thing together in 6 weeks. Like, I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna get wrenching because I really gotta get somewhere today. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Well, here's where we're at. I thought I could get away with just putting 1 coat of primer on the hood, throw some color on it after I got done sanding it. That's not the case. As I was sanding with 600, there is a lot of little craters in there that are just not going away, and so I'm gonna have to put at least 1 more coat of really thick primer on this thing, leave it overnight, do some sanding in the morning, and then hopefully be able to put some color on it tomorrow. So, get here this morning after putting an extra coat of primer on this hood, and I gotta tell you, I'm kind of scared of what I've done here. Instead of going and getting some new primer, I just went through all our old stock of crap that we have over here on the shelf, found a can of primer, mixed it up. It's almost like on there like a sealer. It's not a sandable primer. I've just kind of lightly scuffed up the whole hood, and I'm gonna blow some color on this because we're just out of time. I can't do any more body work. Down the road, I guess I can take this hood off if I really like it and repaint it. That won't be a big issue, but I'm out of time. Okay, so before you look at it,
I know about your air pressure issue because you posted it on Instagram, and you're better at posting on Instagram than me. So shameless plug, make sure you follow James on Instagram because he's way better at it than me. Second of all,
go that way.
Let's go check out the hood.
You filthy bugger, you.
Dude. Looks great.
These 4 little dents right there.
It's never gonna be perfect for multiple reasons. Crappy hood, not ample amount of time to get it done, in a pretty improper paint booth, and you're spraying black. It looks really good. I think it's gonna be perfect, especially for the road trip. I like the little bug in here too.
Oh, make sure that you rub the bug guts all over my freshly painted hood. Thank you for that. Yeah, it did look like somebody took a ball peen hammer to the front of that thing.
It looks awesome. I think you knocked it out of the park.
Man, this Charger has come so far in 6 weeks, but we're 9 days and counting until we got to drive this thing to Bowling Green, which is a good 8-9 hour drive at least. We still haven't fired the engine, which is crazy. I do have a water leak already, so I'm trying to figure that out. We're a long ways from driving this thing. We're going to run the Savannah right now and get the drive shaft so we can put that in. The list is still very long. I hope we can get it done.
On the money?
We got it. All right, now I just want to make sure on my
From each end cap?
money. No, on the inside with the Mopar. See, there's a clip that goes on the inside, and that's what keeps the bearing caps from coming out. You know, there's a clip on the inside of the yoke.
Yeah.
And so that's 2.5 inches on the 8 3/4 rear. And the one we had came out of an 8 1/4 rear. So this is money. Pivotal point right here, we get to test our fuel system. All the lines, all the end fittings that we put on, we get to pressurize them right now and actually test them. But first, we've got to put a little bit of fuel in this thing. All right, muscles, pick that up.
Pour it all over the side of the car, right?
Well, since you permanently borrowed my other gas can,
Not
make sure
permanently.
you don't spill this all over my car. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's on my car.
I felt it run down my hand.
You did? Why did you? Teamwork makes the dream work.
$150 right there.
Shut up, Jim. Hey, Junior, what's going on?
All right, well, I only poured like a gallon on the car. Okay, off.
Is it like squirt now?
Oh, yeah. It's not seated at all. Looks pretty dry to me. So, fuel line should be all done. Had to replace the line that James never tightened and didn't build correctly. So that's fixed, but we should have fuel.
Well, I hope it's a good motor.
I'm putting it out in the universe now. Don't look at Alex. No. Back over here. This is good vibes. That is bad vibes.
Please, 440. Please be a good motor.
Please. It would be just our luck. We build something really nice and then it's just like bleh, all over it. It's like a bloody nightmare.
Have you guys ever wondered how much these turn signals are for the front of a 68 or 69 or 70 Charger? I got some new lenses. They do make the lenses, which is not a problem. We got those from AMD. I went online, and since they don't remake these, everybody's asking like $400 a pop for one of these. So as you can see, I've taken all my broken pieces of the one I have, and I have JB welded it. That's not James Bradford welding. JB weld is what I got from the hardware store. These are finishing touches that we are getting done, and that means we're getting closer to finishing. One thing I'm really proud of is that I've used every part and piece that I possibly could from when I originally stripped this car down. It didn't have much in it. It was kind of a shell, but it had a few of the parts and pieces. This particular piece of stainless was completely folded in half, and I unfolded it. It's got this really nasty piece right here. That part of it, I couldn't bang out. I polished it. Overall, you know, when you're looking at it from 10 feet away, looks pretty good. And Alex is gonna put the final piece on here. And what we've done is we've polished, and I know you gotta put it over the top, and then it clicks on. There you go. Just make sure you line it up. Yeah, and we're missing this corner piece. So something to go to Carlisle for, and I'll look, or to Mopar Nationals, and I'll get an original piece that I can polish up. So there we go. And then I'll try to find these corner pieces. I don't want to get them from Classic Industries if I don't have to. I want to try to go to the swap meets and try to get these pieces and keep this all original stuff if I can. The balance here is the first piece that we body worked and the first piece that we put test paint on.
And you body worked it on the car or off the car?
No, off the car.
Okay.
Because it was easy to deal with. We took all the paint off of it, we primed it, we body worked it, and we put 3 different types of paint on it until we got to this red. Okay.
So you're saying...
So what I'm saying is the last piece is going on the car right now, and it was the first piece we worked on. Look how pretty that is.
I didn't realize how bad it was on the back side of
yeah.
this. Oh.
Yeah, it looks like somebody shot this with birdshot or something in the front. But, as you can see, the miracle of bodywork. Mike Ramirez, you're the man. Part swapper, hashtag part swapper. Give him a follow, he's badass. Look at it. I don't even care that it didn't get good paint on it all the way around. It's just fantastic. So we got our pan off with no problems. Cool thing is, if you see this shaft right here, that is your manual valve body shift kit that has been put in this thing. So this lever right here, every time the cable shifts, it's going to adjust this so that you don't burn your clutches out in your transmission. Finding this stuff out is pretty cool. I had to take the pan off just to make sure that there wasn't something wrong with it. If something's not hooked up like that, it's most likely gonna have a It's most likely gonna have a shift kit in it. Is this on? Oh, okay.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Damn, that's loud. That scared the poop out of me. No, I'm fine.
Yo, I wish you would've-
No, I'm fine.
You would have seen your jump.
I jumped out of my freaking pen. Alright, let's go. Let's see if we can get this thing running. Just little turns, whatever you do. Wrong way.
So we're cooking with some grease.
I don't see any grease.
Grease fire?
Crisco?
Fucking
We're cooking with Crisco, or what kind of grease is it?
could be lard,
Lard?
whatever you want to do.
What is
Crisco's
lard? Is grease?
Crisco is lard.
What is lard grease, or
Yes.
what?
Lard is like the really disgusting.
What about peanut oil?
Use peanut oil. You can use canola oil. You can use vegetable oil.
What's the best stuff to cook
Butter.
this kind of stuff
Butter.
with? Butter?
Butter or VR1.
Are you guys gonna fix that fuel leak, or you gonna fire us up? Yeah, okay.
You're freaking weird.
Look into the camera.
So yeah, this little guy was in the back leaking. This goes right from our hard line to our fuel pump. And I gather someone just didn't secure it well enough. So I think what happened was when you put the, because these were these pressing fittings? We'll put it back on, see if it leaks. If it leaks, we'll change the hose itself to like one of the rubber. Now that we've officially proven we can run this thing with open headers, I think it's time to bite the bullet and install that exhaust. We really want to try out some electric cutouts this time around. These ones from SpeedLab are pretty darn cool. If you're not familiar with what they do, they are designed to go towards the front of your exhaust or halfway between your collector and muffler. The whole point is to make your car sound loud and obnoxious when you want it to, and neighborhood friendly when you need it to. We snagged a 3-inch pipe set from SpeedLab and James got to mocking these up. They offer a few variations and sizes, but these in particular have a remote button you can leave on your keychain. They also offer the option to be powered by your cigarette lighter, or we went with the option to wire them in with the proper fuse. Then, as simply as the push of a button, we have a pretty wicked sounding exhaust when we want it or need it. Wink wink. As we've never attempted cutouts or used any SpeedLab parts before, we are pretty darn impressed with the quality of material and how easy they were to install. We will most definitely be installing more of these on our hot rods. If you're interested in shopping for a set for yourself, you can actually head over to speedlabautoparts.com and snag yourself a set, and also save 15% off your order with our code HH50.
good. The boom tubes are dynamite. Ready? Well, somehow I've mustered up enough energy to get up here. It's Wednesday before Power Tour. The last 3 days I've been very sick. So sick that I've had a hard time getting out of bed. Caroline's out west at a wedding. She won't be back till Sunday before we leave. So I'm hoping to get better. If I don't get better, I'm gonna have to probably cancel my Power Tour, which is really gonna suck because we've worked our butts off to get this car ready. Doing everything I can to make sure that I get it ready. Axle seal's bad on this side and the driver's side, so I've already loosened the nuts. We're gonna go ahead and take this thing out, replace the seal, get us a new seal in there. Okay, gotta make a tool for this. How about an original center cap off the Charger 500 wheel? It's working perfectly. Thing of beauty. Let's do the other side and go home. Anybody can explain this to me? I've never seen. It looks like somebody tried to drill this out. I'm putting new seals in and it's still retaining the bearings, so I'm gonna have to use it for this trip if I end up going. But yeah, that's just weird. It's like it's drilled and somebody was trying to get the bearing off or something. Like, I don't know, man. That's weird. Let me know if this is a total hack job or something special Mopar. I doubt it's something special Mopar.
Previously running the motor, we got a solid 15 minutes into our break-in period until we started having massive valve cover leakage, which hindered us from continuing to run the motor for an additional 15 minutes. Unfortunately, James didn't get any better since then either, so while he's home resting away, Alex and I get to fixing the valve cover leaks and hopefully to finish the break-in for this motor. Purdy down in there.
You got the easy side.
Okay, this is going to be take 2 of running the motor. Hopefully we can figure out timing and cooling problems. I think we fixed our valve cover leak. I don't think there's anything wrong with our valve train. We're just going to play it by ear and hope for the best. Hope we can get this thing timed, idled down, and running good, right? The optimism. Well, we ran the Charger for another solid 10 minutes. It felt really, really good. We think we probably figured out our cooling issue. It was an air bubble. Big surprise. Yesterday it was going to like 240 degrees. Today it didn't even surpass 225, even when, you know, there's no throttle, no change in RPM, nothing. So I think we got one of the air bubbles out. I think there's still another one in there because it's still running kind of warm. But I think we can work that one out with another good run on it. Oil pressure looks really, really good. The only problem is that leak on that intake. So take it all off and fix it and hopefully not have that leak again. Well, after yesterday's shenanigans of finding out that we have a pretty leaky intake, we hunted down some good old gaskets and we found what we need. Unfortunately, with how these spacers are on here, we need 6 gaskets rather than 4. So I had to order 2 sets of 4. We are ready to pull this thing off, hopefully get this sealed up today. We probably won't get it to run because we need to let that RTV really set really good. The hope is we can seal this up perfectly so that James doesn't have to deal with it and can just work on running it. Are you ready to pull off an intake, sir?
Yeah, do we still have the other goop?
Something I did notice while taking off of the gaskets off those spacers in the intake is the ones underneath, like to seal the head to that spacer, are really nice gaskets. Like we could probably totally reuse these, but we're not going to. And then they just use like really crappy like paper ones. And we were noticing that on top of the spacer, which is the space between the intake and the actual spacer, it was leaking. There was oil soaking up to it. It almost looked like there was oil going through the intake ports, which there isn't, thankfully. So I think that was partially the problem. I don't know why someone decided to cheap out now, but hey man, you get this far in a build and you're just like, I don't want to spend the extra $5. You're probably gonna regret it. So we're just gonna go ahead and slap these Fel-Pros on here. I've had no problems with these. This is a more performance gasket, but I still think this is gonna seal it just fine. Well, today would be Power Tour Day 3 for us, and clearly, we're still here. Man, between James getting sick and me having to run off for a wedding and then coming back to the car still not being anywhere near finished because James was still sick when I came back, we pushed, and my goodness, can I say it again, we pushed, but I don't want to call this a failure. I would call this a learning experience for sure, because learned a valuable lesson not to do this nice and pseudo perfect of a car in this time frame. But that doesn't mean we're giving up on the Charger. The Charger is going to get finished. It's just going to be a little bit slower of a process, and our goal is going to be different. That's perfectly okay. This happens. For lack of better words, shit happens. And we're going to learn from this one. James is going to continue to get better, and then as soon as he does, we are going to come back, regroup, and really figure out our best course of action, and then what our next goal should be, because we're not giving up. And also this coming weekend is Father's Day. So maybe I can talk him into working on this, even though we've been working on this like super hardcore for weeks. But I'm proud of us. I'm proud of what we've accomplished, and I'm proud that we've gotten so much done so well in such a short amount of time. So this is a message for you. If you're out there working on your car and you're trying to put a crazy deadline on yourself, I recommend you do it, because it's a great learning experience. But also you learn the valuable lesson of good things come to those who wait. Good things take time, whatever you want to say to rationalize your fear. And there's always more events. So the cool thing is although we're not focusing our energy on Power Tour now, it's like, okay, what's the next event we can possibly go to and make the best out of this and show the Charger at? Maybe Mo Party? Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Don't be too hard on yourself, because it happens. It is the way it is, and we're going to make the most of it either way. So time to rest, recover, and heal, and then we can get back to wrenching.